Janae Armand, Head of Engagement here at Team Flip. And today we're bringing you another Educator Spotlight where I get the chance to chat with some of the most incredible, innovative, and resilient humans in the world. And I am really honored for this opportunity. I'm excited to be joined today by an educator I've been inspired by for over the past 7 years, Bronwyn Joyce from Traralgon, Victoria, Australia. Welcome, Bronwyn. It is so awesome to have you with me today. Yes, so Bronwyn, I know you specialize in inclusion in the mainstream classrooms and differentiating instruction. But tell us, what was your path to becoming an educator?
So I came into education later in life. So after I'd had my 3 children, in my early 30s, I decided to take a career direction after an initial university studying in psychology. So back to uni with 3 little children under 4 and started my studies and worked for the last 20 years in a school in my hometown of Traralgon. We had quite a low socioeconomic student population. And so what I then realised was through the children that I was working with, their connection to the real world wasn't really happening. So I went on a journey around 9 years ago searching for a way that I could connect my students to the real world. And that led me to many trips overseas where I was developing my professional development and speaking about how I was using technology to bring the world into my classroom. And then I've also taken my innovative and leadership journey as well, which has led me now to the amazing job of being a principal here at a small rural school.
That's so beautiful, Bronwyn. And I know as such an innovative educator, now becoming a principal, you are making a difference on so many teachers' lives. Now, in addition, I know you're a huge advocate, as you just shared, in preparing students to be future ready, no matter where they live. And I know you've traveled around the world speaking about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So I want to know, why did you decide to use Flip to make that dream a reality for so many students around the world?
So what we find in the classroom too many times is that our students, we have high expectations of them to complete the curriculum that's set by our states or our countries. But what we actually forget about is for a lot of the work, our children need to have background knowledge. And what I found early on in my career was that many of our children weren't actually traveling very far from their homes. They didn't know what was out there. They didn't know what the world actually consisted of. So my introduction to Flip was to give students a voice. And so through the Flip community, and I used to call my my classroom, and we still are, we call Our Global Classroom. And so I set up a Flip called Our Global Classroom. And so what I did was I took the actual lessons that I was creating in the classroom, I put a global spin to those, and in 2015 was introduced to the United Nations Sustainable Goals. So then I also made a connection with those goals. Now, what we know in our communities now is that our generation, or my generation, we've made a few mistakes in the way that we've developed and introduced new products into our world. So what I see is our students will be the change makers of the future. And so what I wanted to do was give my students an audience outside of the classroom. So one of my mottos is go big or go home. So got onto Flip, connected with some of my global colleagues across the world, and we started connecting our schools through Microsoft Flip.